So, have you guys noticed that we're in a really bad ammo shortage right now? I have, as somebody who shoots way too much ammo. Yeah, ammo was never cheap, but right now it is ridiculous. So I started looking around, and in terms of training is concerned, to try to find a way to increase the value of every round that I shoot, as in I get the most out of each round that I shoot. And I have found, I think, maybe something that can help with that. This is the MantisX. The MantisX 10 Elite is an app-based training program that pairs with a rail-mounted module through Bluetooth that gives the shooter instant feedback on their performance by sensing imperfections in their technique. The device is compatible with both live fire and dry fire forms of practice for both pistol and long-gun disciplines, as well as archery. Simply connect the module to your rail, pair the module to your device through the app, and tell it which type of practice you're doing. The module does have an onboard battery that charges via a micro USB port and connects with the push of a single button. The MantisX is capable of taking thousands of data points per second, giving the shooter a detailed report of their performance that isn't just instantaneous but also trackable over time. Potential areas of interest include a fundamentals analysis, a shot timer, a recoil meter, and holster draw analysis. Want to do your holster draws in your house. Cool thing. In addition to this continuous data feed enhancement to your normal training regimen, MantisX also includes multiple drills and training courses within the app to help push you over time. There is also a function that allows you to compete with your friends regardless of if you are co-located or not. So all those friends of yours that said that they don't want to compete on the range, well, now they don't really have an excuse anymore. And basically, the idea is that this can either be used in concert with live fire or to enhance dry fire practice. So I thought first, just to kind of take her for a spin real quick, what we do is we'd actually do some live fire shooting and see how the thing does. So we're back here at 5 yards. So we're back here at 15 yards. And my thought process anyway is that anything that I'm screwing up should make themselves apparent on the target at that distance. It shouldn't be right in the center. If I'm giving it too much trigger, or if I'm giving it too much heel or something like that, it should present itself on the target. We're not so super close that I'll look like a phenomenal shooter if I'm doing something incorrectly. So all I have to do is go paint the targets real quick. Here we go. And I'm just going to randomly shoot, and we'll get an analysis kind of and see how the data stacks up against what we see on the targets. So I'm just going to shoot the plates. Miss. Okay. 14 rounds. Apparently I can't count. And so what's neat about this is each one of these I can click on, and it tells me exactly what I was doing. And I know I felt the breaking of the wrist one. I know I felt that one. And I think that was our miss. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, you can see everything from tightening the forearms down. I mean, this is actually really informative. This thing clearly has a library of things that it has programmed into it. I want to see if I can induce it and see if it'll correctly identify what I did. I don't know. Let's go with the low left jerk. Okay, so you've got it, recoil anticipation, and we're going to induce a jerk. And basically how I'm going to do that in this instance is I'm going to take the trigger up to the wall, and I'm going to see what happens. All right, here we go. Yeah, so check that out. And that's actually exactly what I did. It says tightening fingers, and it is squeezing lemon. That's funny. Let's go with taking my support hand off when I've got it programmed for two-hand shooting. See what happens. See what it tells me that I'm doing. That says slapping the trigger. And I believe that because it's programmed for two-hand shooting, so there's no support there. So when I was pushing the trigger, even though I pressed it relatively slowly, I could see the sight drift. And I suppose that would definitely be indicative of slapping the trigger. So let's see what happens if I actually slap the trigger with two hands. So I'm actually going to turn this direction for this, so you guys can see, watch me rush the trigger here. So I'm going to start here. It says slapping the trigger. Good. This again. Actually hit the target that time though. Yeah, slapping the trigger. Let's see if it can identify healing. So I'm going to heel into the gun to try and recoil mitigate here. So, yeah, score is 0.8. Pushing, no follow through. So, that one's got to be this one. Yeah, no follow through. So, and it got the pushing the shot. There's a lot more to this thing than just the live fire component. And really, I expected to come out here and do this, shoot a couple rounds with the thing, and then go look at all the dry fire stuff that it can do. There's a bunch of different training programs in there, so I think that what we should do now is take a deeper look at the stuff that the MantisX can do outside of live fire practice. Indoors, nice climate-controlled environment, not freezing to death. We're going to try some dry fire practice. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this thing over to dry practice and get it up and running. And I'm just going to pick a random spot on the wall, and it looks like doesn't do anything to the sensor. Let's make sure that it is indeed working. Here we go. And yep, it is working. Okay. Okay. Did I short stroke my gun while it's empty? Yes, I did. Okay. Now that we've got kind of a baseline of what great shots look like, let's see, without the recoil of the gun being discharged, let's see if it can pick up something terrible. So let's do a rush at the trigger. Slapping the trigger. There you go. A recoil anticipation with a heel here. Breaking wrist up. See if it'll get breaking wrist down. Breaking wrist down. Pretty good. Too much trigger. So, or too much finger in the trigger. Let's do that. It says too little finger in the... I wonder why that is. Let's try too little finger and see if that does too much finger. Here we go. Too much trigger finger. Let's see if we can get it to do that squeezing fingers thing. So let's do the whole tightening fingers. Wow, that thing's really accurate. So for some reason, I don't really know why, my phone really hates being inside of that vault. It's like the giant Faraday cage type thing. So for some reason it disconnected. I've moved outside of the vault, and I kind of wanted to take a look, natural transition type thing, at some of the other stuff that's inside this app. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring us up to record. But I think next on the list, just down from the shot timer, which I don't think is really applicable, is the MantisX benchmark. Let's see what that's all about. It says the goal is to measure your precision and performance over time. Instruction: take 10 shots, focus on precision for every shot. The exact moment of the trigger break should surprise you each time. The drill is not timed. So let's go ahead and just do that. And I guess this is a how well you use the system type thing. So here we go. We're just going to go ahead and try that. Okay, says I'm done. My benchmark was 94 and some change. And it looks like this is something that you can use over time to kind of gauge your performance. Going back, there's a couple more. Not entirely sure that the like time benchmark, stuff like that is probably all applicable to like live fire stuff. I mean, we can try the time benchmark one. So pushing it a little bit, you guys can see that it adds a little bit of something to it, and I'm sure that you could probably go into each one of these. Yeah, just as I thought. You can see a whole bunch of information. I'll put it like this. So a lot of times when we're out there practicing on the range, you might pick up on one or two things that you're doing wrong, but if you've got all the data recorded, then you can review it and figure out what exactly you've been jacking up. Because there may be something that this thing may pick up that you potentially didn't see. So needless to say, the MantisX is pretty cool, and I see a lot of value in it, especially for enhancing training. But in closing, there is one thing that I want to try out, and that is that this thing has a recoil meter, and one of the functions of suppressors, which you guys know that I am a suppressor snob, is that they reduce recoil. At least they should if they're done properly. So what I have here is the White Russian, full video out on this guy right here, and I'm going to shoot it unsuppressed and then throw this elevated silence Evo out on the end of it, and I have a full video on this one as well. All those links will be in the description box down below. But I want to see if the MantisX can decipher the difference between a suppressed and unsuppressed rifle. So here we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Of course, I need to turn off my... Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and throw on the suppressor and see how that does. Does it change the recoil? Well, I know it changes the recoil. Does it change the presentation on the app? Here we go. Oh yeah. Big difference here, boys and girls. It looks completely different. Huh. That is very interesting. So, now that I have all this data, I think we can definitively say that the that the MantisX is pretty neat. It's definitely something that should be on your radar if you're looking to enhance your training. And I guess what we're going to see it repeatedly here on the channel is for measuring of how the recoil changes depending on the configuration of your gun. Thank you guys for joining us here today on the VSO Gun Channel. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please smash that subscribe button down below, share it around, tell all your friends, and hopefully we'll see you guys on a future video here at the VSO Gun Channel.